Hey everyone, it's Karen with Yes Please Paper Crafts. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing the contents of the February card kit from Spellbinders. And I'm also going to be talking a little bit about organization, because I think that organization is very important, especially when you're bringing new products into your craft room each month, like when you're in a kit club, like the Spellbinders kit clubs. And I think that if you're not organized, that a lot of times you spend more time looking for things than you do creating. And so spending a little bit of time up front, getting some organization in place as you bring new products into your craft room, I think is really important. And it's really a time saver. You might think that you're spending a lot of time organizing, but if you can get things organized, you're going to save tons of time later when you're creating and when you're trying to find things. Okay, so I do have a little bit of organization for my previous kit clubs, but I find that it's not really working very well for me right now because I just have the kit club stored by manufacturer and month and year. And so if I wanted to find a die that was, say for instance, a typewriter die, I know I might have one of those, but I don't remember what kit it was from or what month or what year. And so I would spend time trying to search through all of my kits looking for that die. Okay, so the other thing, I was storing my dies and stamps in with the products that came in the kit. And so those dies and stamps were not included with my other dies and stamps. And so when I would go looking for something, just looking in my dies, I wouldn't see the dies that were included in the kit club. And so sometimes I wouldn't even think about using those because I would never see them. Okay, so that led me to trying to come up with a new organization system to where that I can keep things together and maybe store things with the kit, but at the same time have something to where I know exactly what I have for my dies and my stamps. And so I decided to create a reference guide. And so a reference guide is something I've created in the past. I did the reference guide for my paper pads. I also did one for my punches, and I'll put links to videos in the description below, videos that I have on my channel where I shared how I did that for the paper pads and punches. And then in my video for the January kit share for Spellbinders, I have a little bit of organization in that one where I shared how I'm planning to start with my organization for these kits. Okay, so the reference guide that I'm planning to use is going to be an 8.5 by 11 3-ring binder. And so I'm going to show y'all that first, and then we're going to look at the kit for this month. Okay, so here's the binder. This is a binder from Jane Davenport. I think this was one I got last year. It was on clearance at Spellbinders, and I don't think that this binder is available anymore, but any 3-ring binder will work if you want to create a reference guide. And so what I'm doing here is I'm just printing out the information from the Spellbinders website on the different card kits, what's included in the kit. And then this is an example of the dies that were included with the January kit. I have the stamp and die set. So this is a representation of the stamps included. And then here are the dies. And then I have the Glimmer Kit. So the kits for February are right here. So the kit for February is called Always Remember, and this is just some example cards that I printed off from the Spellbinders website. And then I have the contents of this month's kit, and then we have a picture here of everything that's included, and this is the die set that's included with this month's kit. I also have the stamp set. I just took my copier and I did a photocopy of the stamp set. And then here is the stamp and die for February. This one is the old school notes. And so here is the stamp set and what it looks like. And here is the dies. And then here's a couple of cards that were created. I believe this one was actually done with the small die of the month, but this was done with the stamp and die kit that I have. I don't actually have this die, but that's super cute. Okay, and then I have the Glimmer Kit. So this is the Anytime Glimmer Sentiments, and so I have that one as well. And here are all the sentiments that are included in that Glimmer die set. Okay, so that is going to be how I'm going to kind of document or create my reference material that I'm going to use in my organization. Now, I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to organize this reference guide, but I'm thinking that I might come up with categories. So I might have something for the seasons, the holidays, and maybe some themes. So for instance, the January kit was called Truly, Madly, Deeply, and it was a love theme kit. So I might store this under Valentine's. And then the one for February is called the Always Remember. And I think this one is a kit that would be really good just to make all occasion cards. So maybe I might have a section in this book for that. And the other thing that I thought about doing would be to create multiples of this. If I have anything specifically that I want to store in multiple categories, I could always make another copy of this and store it someplace else. So for instance, if I wanted to have all my hearts together, I could also include this sheet under hearts, as well as storing it with the rest of the kit. So there's lots of different ways that you could actually create this reference guide. And then what I like to do once I have my reference guide is I will put something on here that tells me where that is located in my craft room. And so that really does help with trying to find things. And not only does it help you find things, but it also helps you to remember where to put things back when you're finished using them. And I haven't completely come up with that either, but as I go through over the next few months, I'm going to continue to add to this organization system. Sometimes organization systems take some time to come up with. Sometimes the more simple ones, you can do it very quickly. And other times, if you have something that's a little bit more complex, it might take a little bit longer to figure out what's going to work for you and what's not going to work. And I also want to mention that what might work for me may not work for you, and that's okay. You just need to kind of figure out what take from what I'm doing, what you think would work for you. And you don't need to follow everything that I'm doing, because everybody has their own way of thinking about things. And I think the most important key to organization is being able to find things. And so sometimes that really depends on how your mind works and how you think about things, how you remember things. And so I think that's part of the reason why not every organization system works for every person, because everybody has a different way of thinking about how things should work and how to find things. Okay, so that's going to be my reference guide, and I am eventually going to add tabs and dividers in there. And I'm thinking actually about including kind of an index at the front where I can, if I'm going to put this under a category, say like I put this January 2022 kit under the Valentine's theme category, on the front here, I might actually have an alphabetical listing, or maybe by the year and month, and have the category listed so that I know kind of where it is in the book. So I have to think about that a little bit more, because sometimes that it's in a particular month and year, that that it was included in this card kit. And if you sort it a different way or put it into a different category, then it might be hard to find it under that category. So that's going to be a little bit of a challenge for me, I think. But either I will maybe make 2 copies and store one under like by year and month, and then store the other one under a theme, or I might just make like a content sheet here and maybe list what category or theme I stored it under. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the card kit and what was included in this month's card kit. It's called Always Remember. It's so pretty. It's got pastel colors, and I just love this kit so much. It's got more gold foiling, which I absolutely adore. And so this is all of the contents of what's included in the kit. And it lists it right there. But we'll go through it together. Now, I've already taken it out of the box. Some of the things that you get in every month's kit is you get 10 cards and envelopes. These are A2 size cards, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then you also get some double-sided tape and some foam squares. Okay, so in addition to having that in the kit, you will also get some embellishments. And one of my favorite things in the card kit are the ephemera or the die cuts. I've already taken my die cuts out of the cellophane. It came in a little bag, the cellophane bag like this. And I find that over time, when you're taking them in and out of the bag, that the bag sometimes will split on the side and then all your die cuts will come loose. So I like to store my die cuts in these CD, DVD sleeves that I pick up from Amazon. All of the organization products that I'm going to show you in this video, I'll have links in the description below to where you can find them. So what I have right here as I'm working on a card kit, and this is my current kit, I will put it into a tray like this. So I took all of my dot cuts, I took them out of the package, I cut out this little label right here so I can include it once I go ahead and store these into the CD sleeve. But while I'm working on the kit, I'm going to keep it in this little tray because it just makes it more accessible and easier to use. And how I divided the die cuts up for this month is I have anything that had words on it was over here in this section. Anything I can use as a sentiment. And look how cute these are. There's rainbows, and then there are little sentiments. There's a little book here. Aren't those adorable? And they have a lot of gold fooling on them, which I love. Now in this middle section, I have all the flowers. So the kit for this month has tons and tons of flowers. And they're like pink and mint green. Aren't those pretty? And like a purple. So those are gorgeous. And then in this last section over here, I have anything else that didn't have, the things that didn't have words and were not flowers went over here. So we have things like envelopes, little birds, clocks. We have a globe. There's little rain clouds and rainbows. And we have some swans. And one of the things I love about the Spellbinders card kits is that you get 2 of each one of the dies. So there'll be 2 of each one. And so that's really cool because you can make 2 of exactly the same cards. So we have bows and butterflies, more clouds. We have a heart with flowers. And so there's all of these different shaped die cuts over here in this little section. Okay, so we have all of that in there. And there is just so many dies to work with. It's really a lot of fun to play with the dies. Okay, so the other embellishments that came in this month's kit are some sequins, and these are like a clear sequin. And so those are super pretty. So let's talk a little bit about how to store sequins. So there's a couple of different ways that I store sequins in my craft room. And one of the things that I really like is this organizer that comes from Harbor Freight. I think it costs about $5, and sometimes you can get it on sale. If you're going to buy one of these, check out the coupons because a lot of times they'll have a 20% off coupon. So you can get it a little bit cheaper. It's usually 20% off of one item. Okay, and it comes with all of these little boxes. And so what I like to do is just to take my sequins and put it into the little box. And it just makes it a little bit more easily accessible. And then any extra sequins that you have left over, you can just keep them stored in the box. So that's probably what I'm going to be doing with all of my sequins. Now, if you don't have a Harbor Freight, you can look online. They do sell online. If you have a Dollar Tree, you could look for these little bins. And this is a little square plastic bin with a white lid. And you can get 10 of these at the Dollar Tree for $1. Now they're bigger. Let me show you the difference in the size between this smaller one. This is probably a better size for sequins. These are a lot bigger, so they're a good size for smaller embellishments. But if I'm going to be storing sequins, I like to use these little boxes from Harbor Freight. And I have to say that when I was using the sequins, when I was making cards last month, I used tons of sequins and I had a lot left over. So these sequins go a long way. Okay, so the other embellishments that are included were these frames. And let's go ahead and take these out of the package. I think I'm just going to put those over here in my tray. maybe with the sentiments over here. And I'm just going to show you how pretty these are. They do have some foiling on them, on some of them. So we have 3 of the squares. Let's see. There are 3 of these, which are like a little wreath, or an oval with a bow on the top. We have 3 ovals with some gold dots around those. Those are pretty. And then there are 3 rectangular frames. Okay, so these are going to be really fun to play with, and these will make perfect shaker cards. So I love that they included all of those frames in this kit. And I probably won't keep this packaging. I'm just going to keep that right in there like that. And one of the things I love about keeping everything in here is that it's just so easily accessible when you're creating, and you don't have to worry about the packaging too much. Okay, so here are the chipboard that came in this month's kit. Isn't this gorgeous? I just love this chipboard. This is amazing. Look at the little coffee cup. That's adorable. And then here is the other side of that chipboard. Okay, so one of the things that I like to do is I just cut this packaging along the side with my scissors so that as I'm working with this, I can just slide this out. And it just makes it really easy to store this and to get it to go back in and out. It's super easy to store it that way. And you can kind of keep it contained. Sometimes it does split, but at least as long as the packaging holds up, I'll just store the chipboard like this. Okay, and if I do have a problem where the chipboard is falling off or this packaging tears, I'll just put it into another pocket. I have pockets that are 5 by 5, but I also have another pocket that I use to store my stamps. That's about a 5 by 7, and so I'll just use that to store things like this. Okay, so also included in the kit is a 6 by 6 paper pad, and then also some cardstock. So let's go ahead and take a look at the paper that's included. Okay, so we have some mirror card, and I love the mirror card from Spellbinders. It's really amazing. I bought some from Amazon, and I have to say the color is really off, and that when you're using glue, if you get glue on it, it rubs the finish right off of it. So the Spellbinders mirror card is super awesome. It's amazing. I love it so much. Okay, then we have some white cardstock. There's a navy. There's this light purple or lavender color. We have a yellow. There's a pink, blue, a darker pink, and a green. So those are all the colors of cardstock that are included in the February kit. Okay, and then for the paper pad, let's kind of look through that really quick. So there's 2 sheets of each pattern in here, and it's really pretty. Look at this. It's got like gold foiling on some of the raindrops. That's one of my favorite papers in this paper pad. Okay, we have this really gorgeous floral. Okay, and then here's a paper with gold words. Isn't that pretty? Now this paper is a little bit of a thinner paper, but it's perfect for layering on cards. And I also use this for scrapbooking as well. This kit is awesome for scrapbooking. I like to use the dies in scrapbooking and all the embellishments that come with the kit. Here's a paper with birds that has little gold dots. And just some really pretty paper. Some wood grain. There's some rainbows. And I have to say that I did use up quite a bit of the paper in the month of January. And I still had tons of paper left over. So there's so much paper that is included. And you don't really use a whole lot when you're making cards. So this goes a long way to make a ton of cards. So this kit does come with 10 cards and 10 envelopes. But you can make so many more cards and also scrapbooking layouts using the contents of this kit. Okay, so in addition to all of the different products that you get to use to make cards, you also get stamps and dies. So let me go ahead and share that with you guys. And so the die set that comes in the February card kit is this one here. It's a whole bunch of different words that you can use to create sentiments, plus some little flowers, and then this here, which creates a wreath. And let me go ahead and show you the example here of what this is, what these look like when you cut them out. So we have the wreath here, and then there's the flowers. There's also the words just saying hello, you made my day, and you are perfect. And I did cut those out of some gold cardstock. So let me show y'all how pretty these are. So let me just dump this out here. And I cut these out using some of that gold foil mirror card. And so you can see how pretty these are when you're cutting them out in the gold foil. And I think that's going to be really pretty to use on some cards. And I did cut out a few of the little flowers as well. And then here is the wreath. I cut out one of the wreaths also using the gold foil. I just think that that is just absolutely beautiful. So I can't wait to use that on a card. It's probably going to be the first thing I'm going to try is using this wreath on a card. Okay, so let me go ahead and put these little pieces back into my container here. So in addition to the die set, we also get a stamp set, and this is the stamp set that's included in this month's kit. It's all of these really pretty sentiments. I love that font. That's just really pretty. Okay, so while I have this here, let me go ahead and share the stamp and die set for February. So this is the stamp set. This is a different kit. It's a stamp and die kit club, and it comes with this stamp set and then the coordinating dies, which are these dies right here. Okay, and then this last kit that I have is the Glimmer Kit. This is the Glimmer's Anytime Sentiments, I think is what it's called. And let me just show you that here. This is an example of the glimmers that you can create. And then here is all of the different sentiments that are included in this Anytime Glimmer Sentiments Kit. And this is the Glimmers Kit for February. Okay, so I'm getting 3 different kits each month. And so those are all of the kits that I received. And the way that I'm storing this is I'm using an 8.5 by 11 magnet on an 8.5 by 11 chipboard. And then I decided that I wanted to protect this a little bit more. And so what I added into my organization and my storage are these pockets. Now I did try a 8.5 by 11 sheet protector, and I found it was too small to fit the even just the magnet sheet. And so I have these, I'm trying to think of what they're called. They're shop tickets. That's what they're called. So I have these shop tickets, and I was using these to store 8.5 by 11 paper. And so I decided to try these out, and they do work really well, and you can fit both of the dies and the stamps as well. And so let me go ahead and pull this out, and I'll show y'all how I'm doing this here. So I have all of my dies on this magnet sheet, and works really well. They stay on there really well, although I did have some of these smaller ones falling off, and that's why I decided to just do a little bit more and use one of these shop ticket holders. And then on the back, I just took one of my stamp pockets, and I just used my ATG, and I just glued it onto the back of the chipboard so that I would be able to keep my stamp sets together with my dies. And I can just go ahead and just reach in there and pull this out. And then when I want to put it back, I can just tuck it right back in there. And it's going to keep everything together in my organization. Okay, so that is what I'm doing for my storage. And I did pick up these shop ticket holders from Amazon. I'll put a link to the ones that I like in the description below if you're interested in checking these out. But these work really well for storing 8.5 by 11 cardstock, as well as using for these larger die storage magnets. I also purchased the magnets and the chipboard from Amazon. And yeah, Amazon's a really good resource for buying the different products for organization. And I'm finding that this is working really well. And how I'm storing these different cards is I'm putting these in my Hudson cart. It's a cart that I got from Michael's. And on the top of the cart, I just have these magnet sheets like this in my cart where I can just flip through them and easily find whatever ones I'm looking for. Okay, so that's kind of how I have this stored. And then my reference guide, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this by the manufacturer and the year and the month and year. And I'm going to sort it in my cart like that. And if I need to find a typewriter, I could always go over to my reference guide, look through my reference guide, figure out which month it's from, and then I'll know exactly where it is in my craft room. And so I think that's going to work really well for being able to quickly find things. Now, I did think a little bit about doing something digitally on the computer, maybe keeping it there. And I find that that works really well, except that I usually don't have my computer with me in the craft room. I have tried a couple of different applications using my iPad, but I haven't really found anything that works really well, because once you start putting a lot of different things in there, it just seems like it doesn't work. It just, yeah, it takes up too much storage on the iPad. So I did try using the iPad and I didn't have too much success with that. So I don't know. I think that it would be really good to do it on the computer, because you could do things like searching, and it would be really easy to find things, because you could just search on a keyword like typewriter and maybe see all the typewriters that you have. If I could ever find something that worked really well, I might consider doing that. But I don't know. I like to have something that I can actually look at and, you know, pick up and hold. And when I'm in my craft room, I'm not really on my computer. So that's something that I wish was a little bit easier to have something electronically that I would use in my craft room. But so far, I haven't figured out anything that would work for that. So I would love to hear how you guys organize and store your kits and stamps and dies. If you want to leave a comment on this video, that would be super amazing, because I think it's really helpful to hear other people's ideas on how they organize, because what works for one person might not work for someone else. And so if someone's looking to organize, I think it's really good to just look at all the different possibilities and then try to figure out what's going to work best for you in your craft room. And I had someone leave me a comment on one of my videos in January, and the person had a really good suggestion. Her name is 𝗬𝗙𝗍𝗪𝗍𝗪𝗍 on YouTube, and she suggested that if you're using an organization system and something does not fit in your organization system, that you take a representation of that item and the location of where it is in your craft room, and you just put it in with everything else. And so I'll give you all an example. So say, for instance, you have your stamps stored in the pockets that are 5 by 7, but then you have a really large stamp set that's an 8 by 10, and you're not going to be able to store that stamp set with all your other stamps. And so what she suggested that you do is take a picture or a visual representation of that stamp set that's too large to fit, put it into one of the 5 by 7 pockets, and store that along with the location of where that item is in your craft room. And so you have everything in one place. So as you're flipping through all of your stamps and you come across that stamp set, you'll know that, for one, you have it in your craft room and you don't forget that you have it. And two, it's with all of the other stamps. And three, because you wrote on there where that's stored in your craft room, you know exactly where to go to get it. And I just thought that was genius, so I wanted to share it with you guys. And I think that technique would work with anything, with stamps, with dies, or anything that you have where 99% of everything that you have is a particular size. Like, for instance, if you're storing something in a 5 by 5 pocket, most of everything that you're storing is going to fit in that 5 by 5 pocket, but you might have a few odd things that won't. You can just take a visual representation, or even just write it, write the name of it. You don't even have to have a picture of it. You could just write the name of it in there and where it's located in your craft room. At least that would be something to jog your memory that you have that item available and you'll use it more often. So I think that's just absolutely genius. Okay, so I think that's pretty much all I have for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed seeing more of the Spellbinders card kits. And I'm going to be creating some cards, and I'll be sharing that with you during the month of February. So y'all take care. Hope y'all have an awesome day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye now. Okay, would y'all like a banana? You want a banana? Hey, don't be don't be mean, Missy. So y'all want a banana for a treat? You want a banana? You do? Okay, let me go get it. Okay, so what you gonna do for this banana, Miss B? Can you sit? Can y'all sit? Good job. Okay. Miss Bella gets a banana. LilyBelle, can you sit? Good girl. Miss Bella, can you speak? Good girl. LilyBelle, down. Good job. Bella, sit. No. Bella, sit. No barking. Mama didn't ask you to speak. Miss Bella, down. Good job. LilyBelle, speak. You speak? Speak. Oh, it's kind of like a speak. She made a little growly noise. Bella, speak. LilyBelle, down. Good job. They love bananas. So you like bananas? Okay, last one, Miss B. Oh, you're gonna bite my hand. Okay, well, that's all we have. Okay, well, y'all take care. Hope y'all have an awesome week, and we hope to see you next time. Bye now.